YouTube, how we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo! And there's another episode of Yo Hoops. We go through every NBA game every day. Today's Friday, March 28th, and we have a 7-game NBA card. I'm going to walk you through every game, let you know which sides I like, and stick around, because I'll let you know my highlighted play of the day. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's recap. Recapping yesterday, we cashed our highlighted play of the day. We took the Dallas Mavericks plus 7 points in Orlando against the Orlando Magic. The Mavs looked solid. They played an all-around team game and won it outright 101-92. I cashed a nice plus 200 on the money line myself. We also went 2-1 on our MLB opening day plays. The Red Sox run line came through for plus money and Steven Kwan got his run. We did drop the Brewers game, but it was a nice start to the season. As the NBA season winds down, we're going to go crazy on the diamond, so make sure you guys are rocking with me. But without further ado, let me get into today's games. In our first matchup of the evening, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers in Detroit taking on the Detroit Pistons. Cavs are laying 5 points, and the total is 227.5. The Cavs come into this one on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from Cleveland to Detroit. They were without Evan Mobley last night, and they did drop the cover against the San Antonio Spurs. I already don't love how Detroit's looked from an ATS perspective recently, but tonight, Cade Cunningham is ruled out. He's really the engine of this Pistons team, and without him, I think they get ran out the gym. This isn't my favorite game on the board just because the Cavs haven't been great from an ATS perspective recently, and they're on no rest, but we should be able to trust them in this spot. We're taking the Cavs laying the 5 as our first selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Charlotte Hornets in Toronto taking on the Toronto Raptors. Raptors are laying 5.5 points, and the total is 215.5. The Raptors are still significantly banged up coming into this one, but I swear, they just make do with what they've got. They won their last couple games, and they currently sit in the 11th spot in the East. They are 6 games out from the play-in, but it doesn't look like they've thrown in the towel. The Hornets are 2 games out from the worst record in the league, and I wouldn't be surprised if they sit some guys here. The Raptors just look like the more motivated team, and at home in Toronto, I think they get this one done. We're taking the Raptors laying the 5.5 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the LA Clippers in Brooklyn taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Clippers are laying 12 points, and the total is 213.5. This just feels like the perfect storm for Brooklyn to get a cover. They stay coming through getting these extended lines, and the Clippers typically do their best work at home in LA. As road favorites, the Clippers are just 6-11 against the spread on the season. The Nets do come into this one banged up, but they've been playing through injury all season, and there's no new additions to their injury report. I'm not necessarily rushing to the window to bet this one, but there's no way I'm laying this big of a number with the Clippers on the road. We're taking the Nets plus the 12 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Golden State Warriors in New Orleans taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Warriors are laying 15 points, and the total is 226.5. The Pelicans come into this one with a lengthy injury report. Brandon Boston, CJ McCollum, Zion Williamson, and Trey Murphy III are all ruled out. On the Warriors side, Gary Payton II is ruled out, and Steph Curry is listed as questionable, so he may go here. I expect the Warriors to be on go mode tonight. The 6th, 7th, and 8th spots in the West are all tied with 41 wins. The Warriors are in 7th, technically still in the play-in, so they need all of their winnable games. It's that time of the season where we start seeing massive blowouts. Yesterday, the Pacers beat the Wizards by 53 points, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something similar here. We're taking the Warriors laying the 15 points as our highlighted selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the New York Knicks in Milwaukee taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks are laying 1 point, and the total is 217.5. This line is going to move one way or another once we find out if Giannis is playing. He's currently listed as questionable. Both teams are missing their starting point guards, but in this spot, I'm leaning towards the Knicks. They're the deeper team that has players like OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges that can step up and have a big game at any moment. The Bucks are built with pieces to complement their stars. I'm personally going to wait to find out if Giannis is playing, but he's coming off of an ankle sprain, so I wouldn't be surprised if he sits. We're taking the Knicks on the money line. You can find it for around minus 110 odds as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our next matchup, we have the Phoenix Suns in Minnesota taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Wolves are laying 7 points, and the total is 225. This is a tough one. This game is important for both squads. The Wolves currently sit in the 8th spot in the West with the same amount of wins as the Warriors and the Clippers ahead of them. The Suns currently sit in the 11th spot in the West, one game behind the Mavs for the last play-in spot. I can see a case for both sides, but for me, this one comes down to not trusting the Wolves laying points at home. As home favorites, they're just 11 and 21 against the spread on the season, one of the worst in the league. I more see this one coming down to the wire, ending up being something like a 3-point Wolves win. We're taking the Suns plus the 7 as our next selection of today. Let's move. In our last and final matchup of the evening, we have the Utah Jazz in Denver taking on the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets are laying 18 points, and the total is 240. This is a horrible spot for the Jazz. They're banged up on the second leg of a back-to-back, flying from Utah to Denver. In terms of the spread, this one probably does come down to the last few possessions, but Friday night in Denver, give me the Nuggets. Jokic is back, and I've been seeing the Jazz get aired out on a regular basis. They did get the cover last night, losing by 11 to the Rockets, but before that, they lost by 30 plus in 3 straight meetings. We're taking the Nuggets laying the 18 as our last and final selection of the evening. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're now 17, 16, and 2 against the spread on highlighted plays in March. Let's keep the momentum rolling. We got 4 days left, so let's make them absolutely huge. It was nice to get up in the MLB opening day. We cashed some plus money. You guys know what I'm capable of, and I can't wait to start heading over to the Diamond. I appreciate the support so much. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Yo! And until the next one, I'm going to catch y'all. Peace.